the entire software development lifecycle, exploring what all of these tools one after the other. And these are the tools that you are going to see in your job descriptions. So, for example, if we're just to Google, let's say DevOps near me, and look at the job descriptions, these are tools that you are going to be looking at. And again, like I mentioned earlier, right? DevOps is not only about the technical skills, the soft skills too matter. So being able to communicate, presentation skills, interpersonal skills, collaboration skills, problem solving skills, all of these are very, very important. And that's the reason why we are investing in you and giving you all the tools that's going to allow you to be able to improve your communication skills. So being able to send professional emails, very important. Being able to join, I mean, like how to behave, how to behave professionally on professional messaging applications like Microsoft Teams, Slack, and all the like. It's very important because it's very different from your regular messaging platforms like WhatsApp, Telegram, and all of those. Very different. For example, you can easily just forward things when you're on those ones, but when you are in those professional platforms, you don't just forward things anyhow, because it's a professional platform and it has its own ethics, and so you must be able to align to them. And of course, we'll look at how to manage your calendar, okay, because this is one of the skills that very, very important, okay, as a person, being able to organize yourself, how to manage your own calendar, how to set goals, and all of those things. Very important. So all part of what we are going to be looking at in the course of this program. So just a quick introduction of what we are going to be doing. I will share my screen. I'll do a quick diagrammatic picture of what you are getting into. To enlarge this. You're welcome. Everybody's welcome. Okay. So again, open an application here called Draw.io. We are going to do a diagrammatic presentation. I'm laughing at my son. He's running away, so he's onboarding Gen 3. So, like I said earlier, right? DevOps is a combination of two keywords. Okay. Two keywords you have. Okay, so this is DevOps here, right? DevOps. Okay, is what? It's a combination. There you have what you have: development or developers. Okay. And again, attached to this, okay, then you have operations right here. See that? And this is where we are as DevOps engineers. So what are we doing? We are managing the apps or the applications, right? Applications or softwares. Okay, and also what? And also supporting the infrastructures. And this is where our cloud aspect of the program come into play, because most companies are now hosting their applications in the cloud. So we have DevOps. So what are developers doing? They are what? They are writing the application source codes. Okay. Those are what application source codes. Okay. So this application can what? It can either be in one or two programming languages, like what? So you can have Java. Okay. And then we have what? We have Java, and we have, okay, we can also have Python. Okay, so at the end of the day, okay, DevOps engineers are not coders. We don't write application codes. These guys do. Okay, these developers. So let me put here where you have developers. Okay. But what happens when this application source code is made available by developers? So you see, so we have what? This dev, the DEVA stands for what? Stands for development, right? And the ops aspect of it is operations. So you have these individuals, okay, who are working together to develop and make available an application. So these guys make what? They write the application source code, okay, by developers and make it available for DevOps. Now, DevOps is going to operate on this source code using what we call DevOps tools. And in the next page, right, we'll start examining those tools. And these are the tools that you are going to study. But it's very important that what you have this basic understanding. DevOps is what? It's a key, is what? Is a combination of two major aspects of software development. So we have developers and what? And operators. And what? We are the operators here, because we are going to take this source code, like 1,000, 10,000 lines of code and what? And, convert it into a written application like this, Zoom app or Facebook app and all of that. This is exactly what happens with the software development lifecycle. So we have developers. Okay, we're not developers. Okay, then we have what? We have DevOps. Now that we have been able to establish this foundation, let's now go ahead and establish a flow of what we are going to be studying in this program. So I'll call this one. Again, I'll share all of this with you guys. Let's look at what our DevOps flow. Okay, DevOps flow. So this is how it all starts. So we have developers right here. Okay, who are writing and developing what? The application source code. These guys. Okay. Now this is not our business. Okay, we don't need to even know what they are doing or how they are doing it or what tools they're using. No? Okay, but we wait for the application source code. Now, when they write the source code, what happens? They have a platform that we are going to study. As a matter of fact, DevOps is what set up, okay? We're the ones who set up this environment for them. And it's called GitHub, okay? The source code management platform. This is what now we are going to study, okay? Source what? Source code management. See that? So there are several platforms here that are in the industry or that, are in the market. And a company can use either of them. So it can either be GitHub, okay, GitLab, or what, or Bitbucket. Now, let me just make a very simple comparison here, okay? GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket are what is very synonymous to, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, okay? They're all what? They are all social media platforms. You know what I'm saying? So these are all what? These are all social media platforms. So these are all platforms that are used to host codes. So these developers will write the code and what? They are going to commit it to this platform in what we are going to call repositories. Okay. So when I say commit, right, it's very synonymous to what? To uploading. Right. So when you go to send an email, you can easily upload a file and anything and attach to the email. That's what they are doing. So we have developers here who writes the application source code. Now, once application source code has been written, okay, it is what? It has to be committed here in repositories. It's in repositories. And this leads us to our very first tool called what? Our very first tool called source code management tool, which is what? Source code management tool. In this case is GitHub. So we are going to study GitHub. And what all you do here is that you are going to be creating a GitHub account, GitHub repositories, GitHub organizations, all of these, because we are the ones who do this, right? When a project is about to start in every company, right, it falls directly in the hands of DevOps engineers. And you may be asked, oh, you know what? Mr. Joseph, please go in the account, create a new organization for this particular project, okay, and create two repositories and share the repos with these developers to start developing the application source code and making it available. Okay, so we set up this entire infrastructure. here, right? So we are going to set up this environment, create the organization, and onboard the developers. So onboarding here means what? Like granting them access, like what we are doing now at Lion Tech, where most of you are going to be granted access, okay, into our environment. So once the code has been made available, what happens? We now move to what? Our build tool. Okay, now it's time to what? It's time to build the application, to package the application. Okay. So it's time to what? It's time to build. Okay. And package what? Package the application. All of this is just what? This is just a theoretical, but as time move on, we are going to do all of this live, and all of you are going to be able to do this. So I move to what? The building. Okay, the build phase of the application. Now, this is what? This is just cooked, like 1,000 lines of code written using diverse frameworks. It makes no sense to anybody. I mean, not even to the business owners and stuff, right? But what the business owners want to see is what? It's an application running, on the internet and being served to maybe millions of users. That is their end. That's their end game. So they've already made available to developers documentation. Okay, we want this particular application. These are the features that we want for this application. We want maybe probably a landing page. We want to have user accounts. All the features. Like for example, if you just land on the Amazon e-commerce website, right? What do you see? See all those features there? These are all codes that's gone through the software development life cycle. So whatever we are enjoying in the front end, okay, is as a result of everything that has been done in the back end. So as DevOps engineers, are we front end engineers or back end? We are back end engineers, more of back end. Okay, we have nothing to do with website development. No, nothing. We are back end. So we are the ones managing the entire application to make sure that it goes. Now, once we have built this, we are going to have a package. The result of this is going to be a package. So this is now our final application that has been built. Now, before we proceed with this, we need to be able to run code quality analysis. Okay, we need to run application testing and code quality analysis. See that? So we are the ones now doing now executing all of these stages. So developers have made the codes available. They have committed it into a source code management platform. They could be GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, okay, on specific repositories. Now we are going to build. So this build tool here is what? What's the build tool we're going to use here? It's called Maven. Okay. So this is going to be called. So our build tool is called what? Apache Maven. So we're going to study Apache Apache Maven. This is a build tool. So our assignment here is going to be to install and configure Apache Maven, and mind you, everything is available to you step by step. Okay, so our build tool is here, and then what are we using here for code quality analysis? It's called SonarQube. Okay, SonarQube. So once we've been able to build this package, we are going to push this package into a platform called SonarQube to run application testing, because we don't want to save our package as an untested package. Once this application runs through this code quality analysis tool called SonarQube, okay, we are going to get a report, okay, we call it code quality report, okay, quality report. Now this report is very important for developers, okay, very, very important, because this is where we give them feedback. So this is what it runs back to our developers, okay. Where we're able to give them feedback. Oh, you know what? Your app is good. It is secure. It meets our framework exactly as expected. Wanted 100,000 lines of code. We have 100,000 lines of code. With with no duplications, no copy and paste. Okay, with your development, we are good, we are satisfied. So what we give them this feedback because of these two. Now, once we have this package here, what happens? We can now move to what? Move to other tool here called, okay. Another tool we are going to study here called what? Called Nexus. And what this is what? This is a remote differential. Okay, so this Nexus here, right, it acts more like a like a freezing. So like, for example, when you cook food, right? You cook food and you want to just save some so that you can always just take the food out of the fridge, out of the freezer and just serve, right? So this, what are we saving here? Our package, our tested package. So once it has run from here, once we have what this code analysis and the business is what is satisfied with the quality of the code, what do? We are going to save it here. And from here, what can we do again? We can what? We can deploy the application to what? To Tomcat. So again, what we are going to what? So the Tomcat, and Tomcat is a web server. This is what? This is a web server. Okay? Web server. See that? So this is what Tomcat is. Tomcat is a web server. So we deploy this application you want to be able to see the app on the internet. Okay. So this is the very first phase of our which has to do what with build and release. Now, source code management, Apache Maven, SonarQube, Nexus, and Tomcat can give you a job as a build and release manager. Just then. This is all you can do in a company as a build and work and release manager this level. Okay. So what have you been able to achieve just at this point? I mean, like this is just our first 3 months in this program. Now, in everything I've explained, is this related to any of the things that you have known or thought about IT? This is not related to the traditional, myth, okay, about IT. This is very, very different. So now what happens? Now, we set up this environment for source code management where our developers write and commit their source code. They're going to push using what we call a distributed, control system called Git. And I mean, it's a very beautiful concept of that. And then we have once the code are to build the code, and then we are going to package the code and run code analysis, and then we're going to store the code right into an artifact. Now, once this is done, what can we do again? Okay, we can proceed here with this development process. Okay, we come down here to containerization, Docker. So we have an application, right? But want to be able to introduce microservices, microservices, because this app, right, has features that have been packaged. Okay, but it is not best practice in this era where our customers want speed, right? To be able to put everything together as a monolithic application. So what do? We need to break down this application and deploy them into containers. So this is what leads us to. Oh, but before Docker, we are lacking a very important tool that I almost missed. This is called Jenkins, our automation server. Okay, automation server. Okay. Jenkins. So now, before we move into Docker, very important. Yeah. Okay. What are we going to be looking at? Because now we are going to study automation. So you see, like this entire process, right? This entire process like this. We are going to set up a system, okay, that would enable automation. So what that means is that once we have set up the system, right, that when these developers commit the codes, right? What happens? Jenkins here is going to pull the codes, okay? And then Jenkins is going to integrate with Maven to do a build, okay? And automatically push that build into SonarQube, okay? And run automatically within seconds or within minutes, depending on how large that application is, right? And then automatically again push this particular artifact or package into SonarQube for code analysis. And if this is good, what happens? It's going to automatically push this into Nexus and again deploy into Tomcat. So this is where we introduce CI/CD. Okay. So CI what? CICD is what is continuous integration and continuous deployment. So what are we integrating? All of these tools. So what we are going to integrate, okay, Apache Maven with what? With Jenkins. Okay. What we're going to integrate Nexus, okay, with Jenkins, SonarQube with what? With Jenkins, all of these tools to be able to run all of these process automatically. And this is what Devops brings on the table, automation, right? And this is why companies are going to hire you, because you are coming into what to support them. Because the fact is that most companies already have their automation systems. Okay, they already have it. So what you are just coming into having to maintain it or to improve it. It's simple. So you will rarely find yourself in a company where you are going in to start everything from scratch. Now, it is possible that the company may want to introduce a new product. Okay, and of course, they will need a new CSD pipelines. But the fact that they already have existing CSD pipelines makes it very easy for you to look at what they have and duplicate it. It's easy, right? So rarely will you find yourself trying to reinvent the wheel in this career. It's not possible. I tell you for a fact, I work, and there's no day that I complete a task without googling. It's not possible. Everybody googles, and there's nothing that you don't go to search and not find on Google. It's not possible, right? So Google is going to be your friend even as you study this program. Okay. And of course, YouTube also, okay? There are times that even my boss is going to share a YouTube video. Oh, you know what? This content is good. Please just, go through it and watch that content, because, that is the beauty of IT, because there's a lot of information out there to help you build your career. Okay. And that's exactly what we are going to do. So you see, like, this automation server, Jenkins, okay? This is the tool that we are going to study before we get into Docker. So this tool is going to integrate. As a matter of fact, it won't just end here, because this tool is able to take our code from GitHub and deploy it straight into production. And we are going to see how that entire process runs. Now we have what? So we looked at source code management, GitHub. Our build tool is Maven. Our testing tool is what? So SonarQube. Our remote artifact here is Nexus. And then what we talk about, our automation server here, okay, Jenkins. And then, okay, what we move to containerization, okay, we call it Docker, okay. Docker is a very important tool that we are going to study. So these are all tools. This is our journey. This is how we are going to travel, okay. So we move here, and here, what are we focusing? Now we are going to take this application, this package, and kind of break it down into microservices. So instead of deploying the app, right, as one big bundle, as what you come to learn in the industry as monolithic application, what are we going to do? We are going to break it down to deploy as microservice application. So once we break this down, what do we do now? We are going to deploy in Kubernetes, okay? In a container orchestration platform here called Kubernetes, okay? Kubernetes. Once we have our app here, what do? We want to monitor the application. Oh, sorry. We need to, okay, monitoring, okay. And here, right, in terms of monitoring, what are we using? You can use what we're going to come to learn as Elasticsearch, okay, Elasticsearch, Logstash, Firebase, and Kibana. We also have what? New Relic, and Datadog, okay, and probably what? Zabbix. These are all tools that are in the market today, very popular tools that this is for application monitoring, okay. So we can have something like that. Now a good arrow, just keep it here, okay. So now, so after we have deployed our application in this environment, what do we do? We need to be able to monitor it. Right here, okay, we're going to have something called what? Application Package Manager, okay, called HEM. So what is HEM? HEM is what? HEM is application what? Application manager or Kubernetes one. Kubernetes, okay. Application manager. Don't worry about this. Okay. When we get there, it's going to be so enjoying. It's going to be what? So huge. This two alone, okay, just this. If you know just this, focus on okay, I've been working for HP now for a while, and this is what I'm doing most of the time: monitoring, okay, and what and deployment into Kubernetes and what monitor, deploy, and monitor. What that means that because of see for 2 weeks, okay, I just sit. Developers run what they run their entire process, run their test cases and what and move the application in the staging environment in GitHub. And what do we do? What is the day to release? Because normally in a normal company environment, okay, they have what we call a release calendar. They don't just release app, they don't just release into production, I mean randomly. Okay, everything is planned. There's a process, there are checklists that you must follow. Okay. Now, so we come here and, just this tool can give you a job. Notice alone. It's a very, very big tool. It's a macro, very big. Just if you know just this tool like this, just one, just this, and this, you are very good. This can give you a job of not less than 140K. This is not a joke a year. Because this environment, this is a DevOps environment entirely. It's DevOps, we manage everything here. Permissions, users, applications, everything. So this is a very, very big tool that we are going to study. Okay. And again, Helm is just more of of a package manager. So it just so once we deploy, what do? We have to monitor to make sure that the app is up and running at all times. Now, once we have been able, our app is now live here, right? Okay, and everything. So what else are we going to study in this program? Okay, now we move to the aspect of infrastructure. Okay, infrastructure. As you already must have been thinking, right? But where is this application going to be hosted? Okay, it needs to be hosted on what? On servers. Just like I am running this entire program on what? On my computer. So the same thing what applies is going to run on infrastructure. Okay, for example, what we need to install what? SonarQube on what? On a server, on Windows computer, Linux or Mac OS. Okay, all of that. Now we come to the era of what? Of infrastructure. To be able to host this entire application, what we need? Infrastructure. When it comes to infra, what we are going to focus on is the cloud. That's the first thing. So from day one, we are getting into to AWS cloud. Okay, this is where we are going to go host our infrastructure, and this includes what? This includes our servers. Okay, servers. So let me just put it in a word they can understand. Computers. Okay, because we need to host this entire process in what? On infrastructures. So we have servers here. We have net. Okay, and what? Network. Okay, we have groups. Okay, and this is where I think somebody was asking me about cybersecurity. Okay, this powerful DevOps is. See that? Security in the cloud, very important. And then what we look at, storage or databases, right? So again, come here, we have what? We have storage, right? What? Storage / DBs, okay, or databases, right? And all of that. So network, okay, but now, how are we going to provision this entire infrastructure? It also a tool called Terraform. Okay. Now we have several options. Okay, you can what? You can log into AWS and create all of this stuff manually. We are going to start with manual provisioning. Okay, manual provision, but in the enterprise environment, that's not what the company expects. Okay, the SEO expects automation, and one of such tools that is going to help us to automate the creation or the provision of computers in the cloud, network, Networking it talks more about VPC and VPN, security in the cloud, like what? I mean, security groups, firewalls, etc., and storage, DBs, right? And all of that. So what do? We need to be able to automate this entire process with a tool called Terraform. After that, what else are we going to study? Another tool called what? Called Ansible. So what does Ansible do? So Ansible is more of a configuration tool. So we can now imagine that we have okay, we have what? Let's say we have say we have 1,000 servers, okay, hosting what? Hosting our applications. So we are imagining ourselves that we are a company as large as PayPal. Okay, we have 1,000 servers, 1,000 computers that we need to manage. Or computers, just to make it clear for others to understand. Okay, going here, servers, you start thinking, oh, maybe it's something. Of course, that's why it's a computer. It's a macro computer. It's not like our simple computer that we are used to studying, right? So we have what? This is the last tool that we are going to study. And so it's for configuration management. Now, say we want to do security updates on all of these servers at once. Okay, we can use Ansible to automate that entire process. All right. And all of that. If you want to maybe open up some firewalls or add some rules in our network, allow some IPs or deny some IPs, what do we do? We need to be able to we need a tool that can enable us to automate that entire process. So here we have Terraform as what? As infrastructure as code, IAC, and we have what? We have this guy here as what? As configuration management tool. Okay. Configuration management tool. Okay. So this is your journey to becoming what? That DevOps engineer you want. So what are you now? Look at the hub that you are going to be bringing to the company. You see that source code management, you have a solid understanding on it. How to package the application and build it, you know exactly what to do. How to run what? Test analysis and code analysis, you know exactly what's supposed to be done. How to package and make that and store this application in a remote artifact, you understand that. Talking about what? Tomcat servers and web servers, you understand it. What to microservices, you are a pro. Okay. You come to containerization on deployment platforms, which is what you are an expert. Monitoring your applications, you are very good. Okay. Application package manager or package manager, you know it. Config management, you are a pro. Infrastructure automation, you are excellent. Now, all of this runs on what? On operating systems called Linux. We got our OS here. Okay, and this is where we're going to start actually with what? With Linux. Okay. And this is why we are going to learn Linux, because all of this, okay, infrastructure is going to be hosted on either Linux or Windows. So you see, right? So this is our journey. So what are we going to study? Linux, source code management, build tool, testing tool, and then move to our Artifactory, and then our web server, our automation framework, server three, right? Microservices containerization, Kubernetes, okay, to manage our container applications, monitor our application after we have deployed, and then move to infrastructure, cloud actually, okay, AWS cloud, right here, okay. AWS cloud, look at all of these, okay, look at the compute services, network services, secure services, and storage services, and then we call to Terraform to be able to automate this entire process, and then our config management. So this is your journey to that freedom that you are looking for. It's going to be so exciting. Don't worry about this, complicated thing, somewhat diagram, because okay, with time, believe me, just 2 months of this program, you are going to be able to explain this entire process without even blinking. I know that. All right. So this is going to be our journey. This is what we are getting into. And of course, I forgot something very important. When this is done, right, we have what? We'll have what? Technical documentation. Okay. Documentation and what? Presentations. Very important. Okay. Because look at something at work, in as much as you know all of this, okay, if you don't know how to document, it becomes what? It becomes a problem. And even how to present. And this is going to help you even with your interview, because the way you compose yourself in any interview and talk about your projects, what you've been able to do and all that, right? It makes a lot of sense, and they just fall in love with it. Because look, something, okay, most of these companies out there, what they have clients, okay, that they are posting their applications. So sometimes you will need to make reports. So let's say, for example, for some reason, what we had about maybe 10 minutes outage. Okay, let's just assume that we are supporting the Facebook application, and for some reason, what happened? The Facebook app was unavailable for 10 minutes. Of course, you have a lot of stakeholders involved. Shareholders want to know what happened. Okay, and so if you're that kind of person who is very good with presentation, you have that composure, you can break technical thing into very small, plain English that everybody can understand. What they are going to love you. So what? You may not be too technical, but the fact you have other skills that can benefit the company, you can get hired. Just like that. So we have this, and when all of this, what happened? We have our bootcamp right here. Our bootcamp or job preps. Okay, job prep. So it ends with job preps, and when all of this is done, we start having offers, and then what? We come back to Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving and what? Thanksgiving and this is Thanksgiving. Thanks. Am I spelling it right? Thanks what? Giving and what? And graduation. Okay. So this is how it is. But you know what? Even after this, okay, what we are going to continue with continuous mentorship. So what you move into into mentorship here. Okay. And what? And coaching, because even when you start working, right, you're going to need what? You're going to need this continuous mentorship and coaching. And this is why, to us, it's not just a 6 months program, it's a lifetime engagement. Okay. Once you become a Lion Tech, you become what? A Lion Tech for life. All right. So this is our journey. I see chat indication. Let me just stop sharing and look at the chat. Okay. I think maybe somebody has a question or so. Right, but I don't know if it's my network.